Hi everyone, I'm Ken Verderami, and welcome to another edition of the Ultimate Steel Shooter, where we talk about all things and only things Steel Challenge. Alright guys, so today I thought what I'd do is we're going to kind of do the ultimate gear guide to shooting Steel Challenge. Everything you need to know related to gear, from guns, holsters, magazines, range bags, carts, ancillary gear, you name it. We're going to cover the whole gamut, A to Z, about everything you need for both training and shooting a match, okay? So let's start off with probably the most important thing, which is guns, of course. Now, one of the cool things about Steel Challenge, of course, is that there are so many different divisions, right? There's actually 11 different divisions that pretty much you can shoot whatever gun you want. So unless you're one of those guys that likes to shoot one of these, right? This is my Benelli M2 shotgun set up for 3-gun, or you like shooting one of these, right, which is an AR, which is also for 3-gun. Pretty much any other gun that you have, there's a Steel Challenge division that you can shoot it in. So my first point is, don't go out and think you got to buy guns to go shoot Steel Challenge. Pretty much the gun you have, particularly if you like shooting it, you're going to be better at it anyway. You're going to be more interested in it. That's the gun you should use for Steel Challenge, right? So a quick review. In a Steel Challenge event, right, there are 4 simultaneous matches, which are all independent. There's what's called the main match, which has all the center fire pistols, revolver, open, production, single stack, limited, right? Then there's the Rimfire Pistol match. You can shoot an open pistol or an iron sight pistol. Then there's the Rimfire Rifle match, again, open, iron sight, and another very popular division, of course, is PCC, right? And in PCC we have open, and then we have iron sights as well, and you can shoot both. All right, so let's jump into it. Let's start out with the division that I shoot the most, which is Rimfire Pistol Open. If you've been around a while with me, you've probably seen this gun. This is very simply a Browning Buckmark Camper. Probably the cheapest Buckmark you can find, $350, brand new. Now, I have done some things to it over time, but you don't actually need to do it. You can shoot this gun right out of the box, particularly if it's an iron sight division you want to go. However, if you're interested in shooting the open division, there's lots of things you can do to the gun, okay? Seymour Optic. I like Seymour Optics. They are the most reliable. You never, ever, once you zero this, unless you take it off the gun, it holds at 0. So you never have to worry about that. So I really like the Seymour Optics. And by the way, I will link a description to pretty much all the gear I'm talking about here, so you don't have to remember. If you're interested in some of this stuff, you can go see where it is, okay? So Seymour Optic. I've changed out the barrel. That's probably the most noticeable thing. This is a Tactical Solutions 4.5-inch or 4-inch barrel. They make a 5.5-inch barrel as well. And the reason that these are nice is these are not the steel barrel. These are aluminum barrels, so they're much lighter. I've replaced the grips with Tactical Solution really light aluminum grips. And then a couple other things I've done with, I've added little things as I like to put a thumb rest. So I've added a thumb rest there. I've added an extended magazine release, and I've also added this, what's called a halo from Tandemkross. I'll link the description to all those as well. But the other thing you'll want to notice about this gun, 2 things that probably stand out. 1, no compensator. I'm going to do another video later on talking about why I don't put compensators on my pistols in rimfire. And then this thing, of course, is a magwell. This is a custom-made magwell. And I'm going to do another video about all the little tricks and tips and customization I've done to some of my guns to help you out. If you're interested, you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can do this all. I just did this in my workshop. And the reason is my hands are pretty big, and the one knock against the Buckmark is the grip is pretty small, and so when you grab it, my hand ended up down below the bottom of the grip, and I was unable to get a really good grip. Well, if you had a magwell, now you can see you get a much more solid grip, and that was really important to me, so I did that. Okay, so that's that. Let's jump over into the main match division where you've got all the centerfire pistols. So this is a CZ SP01 Shadow, the Shadow 1s. I've had this gun for about 7 years now. And other than putting in the short reset trigger modification, this is a stock Shadow. And the reason is this gun is mechanically accurate half-inch groups at 50 yards. So it's perfect the way it is. And other than making a short reset trigger, which I kind of like, right? If you look at this and you go to single action, you can see how short that trigger is. If you watch if I pull it, hardly any movement at all, which is kind of nice. The other thing I did is the stock grips that come with this gun are really slick and they're really narrow. And again, I have big hands and I like a much bigger grip. And so I needed to change the grips out to make it fit better in my hand, which is a big deal. So these grips here have a really rough edge to them, which made it nice for, we're down here in Florida, my hand sweats all the time. So that's nice to make it a more firm grip. And then the other thing I did, okay, that is a custom grip on the left side plate. And I'll explain how I did that in that later on video. But again, what that did is that allowed me to thicken the grip up. And for those of you, right, jumping up and down rules, it is perfectly legal in production. Okay, production says you can't have finger grips along the front or the back. Well, they're not. Those little indentations are along the side. So the gun's profile, right, is exactly the same. You can't see, the profile hasn't changed at all, even though I've got a custom grip way back here, okay? Just like that. So that's that done. All right, moving on. In the open division for centerfire, this was real easy. I just bought a STI Steel Master, which was designed for Steel Challenge in open division. And I didn't, other than paint the gun, I guess, I didn't do anything to this gun. This gun, well, I take that back. I changed the trigger. I like the medium curved triggers. And so I put that in there, but again, that's something you can do yourself in about 5 minutes. But other than that, this gun is completely stock the way it comes from the factory. And now, you'll notice though that there is a slide rocker there. That is because 7 months ago, I actually cracked the slide on this gun, and they don't make these slides anymore. So this is actually, if you look at it, right, this is a custom slide that STI made for me, and it happens to be able to have a slide rocker. So they put a slide rocker in for me. I didn't even ask for that. It just came back that way when they fixed it. But otherwise, it's just a stock gun from STI. I didn't do anything to it. It works fabulous the way it is. All right, and then everybody's favorite probably division is PCC. Okay, so I did a bunch of stuff to this gun. The basic gun is a SIG MPX. The reason I like this gun is this is not right. This is a gas-powered gun. It does not have the spring and the weight mechanism that most of the PCCs do. And because it doesn't have that, it's gas, it's got almost no recoil compared to the spring weight types of PCCs. That combined with tuning your load, if you reload like I do, you can shoot a PCC with zero recoil. People are just amazed when they shoot this gun. In fact, at Nationals a couple years ago, I was on a squad with KC and Jessica Duff, and I came off of, I think it was Pendulum, and after shooting it, I go put the gun away, and Casey just looked at me and he goes, wow, that gun shoots really, really flat. And I said, yeah, it is a little different than most, right? So even he was able to, noticing the difference, and it is remarkable. Okay, so that's why I bought the gun itself. And then what I did is I actually turned this gun into a Class 3 firearm. This is an SBR, so you'll notice some of the stuff the federal government requires you to do on that engraving stuff. But I turned it into an SBR, and so this is not a suppressor, as people think. It's just kind of a cool flash piece that is actually welded onto the front of the barrel. The barrel is only is 12 inches long. Okay, so it's not the 8-inch, it's not the 16-inch. Both of those, one would be pistol, one would be rifle. When I went to the 12-inch, that made it the SBR category now, so I had it registered as an SBR, but that's okay. I put another Seymour red dot on it as well. I switched out the aluminum hand grip to a polymer one to lighten the gun up a bit. And then I changed the stock. This is a Magpul UPR, I believe. This is a very heavy stock, about 3 or 4 pounds. But I did that on purpose because I like the gun to be relatively heavy. And then the other thing I did is the one knock with the MPX is the trigger is really not that good. It's about a 10-pound trigger out of the box. And so I got a Hyperfire 24C drop-in trigger kit, and it's now a 1.75 pound trigger. Okay, so nice and light. And again, that's drop-in trigger. If you can take your gun apart to clean it, you can install that trigger on your own. No special gunsmithing required. And again, that's pretty much it. And the gun otherwise is stock. All right, guys, let's now move on. We talked about the guns. Let's talk about magazines, magazine holders, belts, actual holsters, all that kind of stuff that you need to go with it. All right, so what I do, if you're going to shoot multiple divisions, which a lot of people really like to do in Steel Challenge, I'm going to tell you that you ought to think really hard about this, which is the Safariland belt system. And the reason that the Safariland belt system is really cool is with a single belt, you can now change both holsters and mag pouches for any division you want simply by grabbing, right, pushing those things and pulling out and putting in whatever it is you want. Okay, and so this is a really slick system. And if you're a 3-gun guy, you're probably pretty familiar with this because it's really nice. You can go from pistol to rifle to shotgun or all simultaneously and carry them all at the same time. So this is a regular inner outer belt, right? You wear this around on your pants, and then this goes, it's got Velcro on the inside and it goes around it. And you basically put in the mag pouches and the holster depending on what gun you're shooting. So right now, as this sits, this is set up for open, okay? And so if you're not familiar with how these race holsters work, pretty much go in there, there's a little button that slips, right? And now that is locked in there and can't go anywhere, and then you put that down, and on the draw, you're ready to go, okay? So that is, you'll need, and again, I'll link this all down there, but this is a Safariland, I think it's 014 race holster that you can set up and modify a zillion different ways for pretty much any race gun and limited guns, by the way, that you have, okay? Now, let's continue on with holsters a bit. Say you want to shoot production, right, as well, okay? You would just simply pop that off, and then you can take your production holster, which is set up, put it in there, and now you just need to locate it in the right spot to follow the rules, but you're ready to go. Okay? Now this, and I take this off so you can see it a little better, this particular holster is a Ben Stoeger Boss holder. It's a dropped and offset, right? So the belt is here, so it's dropped and it's offset, but still legal within the rules. And it's set up for my CZ Shadow, okay? You'll basically just identify which type of gun you have so you get the right Kytex holster, and then you can set this up lots of different ways. The only thing I did is, again, this Safariland clip system I've mounted on there when I just put some screws in there, and now it's usable on the Safariland system. Okay, for Rimfire Pistol, I actually used to have a holster that I put on there. Unfortunately, because of the optic, the only holster that they had raised the pistol really high up here, and it just felt uncomfortable. And so after a while, I got rid of the holster and I simply use the gun in a bag, and I'll show you that in a second. But that's pretty much the belt and holsters. Now, magazines, okay, again, so Rimfire Pistol, right? This is a California Competition Works pistol magazine bag, holds 5, really nice, which is really nice because, right, typically Steel Challenge, you want 1 magazine for each of the 5 runs when you're shooting pistols. So there's 5 magazines in a single pouch. You bring that up, set that on the table when you shoot, you're ready to go. Okay. In production, if you want to, right? I talked about you can put it on the belt. If not, you can get these. Again, this is what happens to be Competition Edge Dynamics, but you can get a magazine bag and you can put all your magazines. You can sit on the table, pull up, and then for each run, you just pull out the magazine, and it's easy to keep track of which one you shot, which one you didn't. Right? Last thing you want to do is shoot. You see this all the time with new shooters. They'll shoot a run, and maybe they'll shoot a second one, and they don't remember that they don't have enough bullets, and they don't switch magazines, and they get, the beep goes off, click, and they're out of ammunition. Right? While you're on the timer, you just blow them that run. So you want to get something like these as well. These are my magazines for the Shadow. I just put nice rubber blue bottoms on them. Again, it helps me, that sticks out below and so it allows me to put my pinky finger there. It just helps you get a better grip. And then lastly, in the world of PCC, nice thing about PCC is you can get 30 round magazines for pretty much any gun. The SIG MPX, 30 round magazine. Well, they also company makes a 10 round extension for it. So this is actually 40 rounds. And this is my primary magazine when I shoot. This is a backup. And the reason I do that is with 40 rounds, I don't have to change magazines. I can shoot the entire stage without changing. And the reason that's important is once you get in a rhythm, right, and you shoot a good first string, you just put the gun right back, down to the flag, you're ready to go. Shoot the string. Point the gun back down to the flag, you're ready to go. And you can run through and you can keep in rhythm. And if you're shooting the stage well, you're going to be able to go right through the stage and continue to shoot well without having to change magazines. All right, guys, now that we've talked about guns and holsters and magazines and mag pouches and all that kind of stuff, let's talk about bags, equipment bags to haul this stuff around and what works and what doesn't work. So if you're a rimfire pistol guy, like I said, I didn't use a holster because it was just uncomfortable. And so what I do is I have one of these bags from Midway, and I'm not sure you can get these anymore, but this is really cool because it's a pistol bag with integrated magazine pouch, right? So what I do is, you'll see me at a match, right? I mean, I'll have my handgun in there, and then we'll have a couple of magazines. Right? I'll just put a couple of them in here so you can see, like this. And here, and when I walk up to a stage, I'm just carrying this bag just like this, and I'm ready to go. Okay. When I get to the stage, I lay this down on the table. It's got Pro Grip in it. It's got a hand wipe in it for me, and then all I do is I pull this open. I set this flap on there like that, and now the magazines are ready to go to pull out. And once I get the all clear, load and make ready from the RO, I unzip the gun bag, reach in, pull out the gun. This is sitting at the table. I can go through my routine. When I'm ready to shoot, I can just grab a magazine off the table, load, and I'm ready. At the end of a run, eject it, put it back, take out a new one, and away I go. Okay, and I can do that. And then when I'm done, right, clear the gun goes in the bag, you zip it closed, you pull the bags up, there, and I'm off the stage. Really simple, really effective, works really well. All right, now, if you're a production shooter, right, again, this is a single bag. This is a Bag Master bag, by the way. But in a single bag, I can have my gun, right? I can have all my magazines, and then I also have extra pouches for other things. In fact, in here right now, I've got my magazine pouches if I want to put them on my belt instead. But everything is carried in one simple bag, and then same kind of deal when I walk up to the table to go. Again, remember, there's no requirement to have your gun on a holster in Steel Challenge. It's perfectly acceptable, no matter what division you're doing, to walk up to the table with your gun in a bag, sit on a table. When the RO says, make ready, you unzip and take your gun out. Not like USPSA where you got to be started with a holstered gun, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, the other thing I do is I like to keep things simple. So I have one bag that pretty much, this is for going to a match where I carry everything. So I can put all my ammo in here, my hearing protection, eye protection, sunscreen, you name it, everything but the gun can go in this simple little bag here. In fact, this bag is from Brownells. In fact, I won this at Nationals a whole bunch of years ago. I got a pouch for a first aid kit that goes in there. And then you can put food, things to munch on. Nice little bag, a simple bag. One bag for your gun and magazines, one bag for everything else, and you can go shoot a match just like that. You don't need a lot of other stuff, okay? Now, if you do want to as you start shooting, start collecting and bringing things, you might want to think about bringing a maintenance bag along with you, okay? And this is a nice little simple kind of range bag. In it, I've got kits for different pieces of equipment and stuff. I've got wipes for the gun, for your hands, all that kind of stuff. And then the other thing I got is this kit from Competitive Edge Dynamics. This is a complete maintenance kit. It's a complete set of tools, wipes, a couple extra parts. It's got oil, lubricant, all that kind of stuff in there. And again, nice little thing you can carry just like that, okay? And so if you start doing that though, right, if you start collecting multiple bags, it gets kind of cumbersome because you do only have two hands, and eventually you start thinking about some kind of way to cart all your stuff around during a match, right? Well, that's where maybe the range cart comes in. You see guys at the range have them, right? Some wear backpacks, some have pull behind carts on wheels, some have actual four-wheel carts, okay? I will tell you, I've been through the whole progression. Started out with a backpack, then I went to a pull behind two-wheel dolly kind of arrangement that you see like a hotel bag guy has, and then eventually I went to what I've been using the last couple of years, which is the pull behind range cart. I will tell you that I think of all those, the pull behind range cart is the simplest, easiest, and most effective way to do this, and I'll show you here right now what mine looks like. Okay, so this is my range cart, and this is not anything, so you can go on Amazon and buy this. This is a gardening range cart, or a gardening cart. It has nothing to do with shooting, okay, right? And the nice thing about this cart is it's got, it's got four big wheels, so it rolls around. It's got a nice little extension there, so you can grab the handle and pull it around. And then the only modification I did is I added this PVC tube to it. And the PVC tube I use is for this, it's actually a pecan picker, but what it is it's a brass picker. Right? You may have seen these at the range and wonder what the heck these things are. They're actually used to pick up brass, so you never have to bend over and pick up brass again. It is the most useful device ever. If you reload, you'll want to grab one of these. You can pick them up at Amazon for about 30 bucks probably, okay? And then, all right guys, the last thing I want to talk about here is what about just normal going to the range every day to shoot, right? So what I do is I have a single range bag. This is a competition bag from Midway. And again, I'll link it down in the description. And when I go to the range to practice, I grab this bag, I grab my gun, and that's pretty much everything I need is in this simple bag, right? Let's go through it here real quick so you can see the kind of stuff that I take to the range shooting. So number one, maintenance kit, spare parts, tools, so I can do simple things on the range and not lose the whole day if something simple happened, okay? In here I've got various kinds of targets and things that I might use, pacers, things like that. I've got spare food if I want to munch on things. And then for me, very important, I've got this. This is actually, I don't use the liquid pro like a lot of guys do. This is actually Climber's chalk, and I find it keeps my hand dry for longer because it actually has a special drying ingredient in it. In addition to that, I have a your timer, right? It goes in this pocket right here. I then have a spare towel that's got oil in if I need to do lube. And then inside the gun itself, or inside the bag itself, right? Hearing protection, mandatory kind of thing. Some kind of hat or a visor that you'll definitely want to wear. Eye protection, of course, very important. I got another towel there. I've got various bags that hold all my magazines. One of the things that's nice is if you can do it, if you have a bunch of magazines, you don't have to reload as often, particularly in rimfire. We only get 10 rounds of magazine, and it just saves time when you're shooting. Another bag of magazine. And then what I like to do, I got can of paint. And then what I'd like to do is I take an old Remington bucket, and this is where I put all my rimfire ammunition. Just easier than having it in the case. I just dump it all in there, and it just makes it easier to get at the ammunition. And then, of course, important, a little notebook and pen to make notes on during the day, during the session. And then I also happen to have diagrams of every stage in case I want to check distances or something like that. Okay, and literally that's pretty much it. That's what's in the range bag. And like I said, just grab this and off I go. Okay, really simple. All right, guys, so that's pretty much everything there is related to gear. Again, if I was you and you're just starting out, keep it simple, right? Pick a gun, get some magazines, and then ear protection, eye protection, things like that. Obviously, a bag or two to haul everything around. And then if you're gonna start shooting competitions, think about the range cart, kind of a cool thing. Makes your life much easier when you're at a match. And then off you go, and just spend your money on ammunition when you're training, and not get so involved in all the gear stuff that you forget. That's really if you want to get better, you need to spend money on ammo, right? Okay, I think that's where we'll call it good there. Remember, please, most important thing you can do for me right now is subscribe to the channel, hit the like button as well. Comments are always welcome. Tell me what kind of things you guys are interested in hearing about. Share this video with your friends. Let them know the channel's up and running now. And then, obviously, if you're interested in my dry fire training system, right, head over onto our website at steelshootbanners.com and check out all our training banners for all steel challenge stages, USPSA training banners, USPSA classifier stages, and the 3 official stages of the Glock Shooting Sports Federation competition matches as well. And remember, guys, as always, slowing down is never the right answer. Never. You need to learn to see.